I'm Carla Estell, and I'm back again with another helpful hint for you moms who are teaching your children at home. Today we are going to look at spelling and an easy way of teaching your child how to spell. So what I decided to do was rewrite those words. For instance, the first rule is if only one vowel is found, it usually says its short sound. A silent E will let a vowel say its name. And that was a whole lot easier for them to remember. However, I went a step further. And rather than just telling them what the rules were, I let them discover the rules for themselves. And so today I'm going to show you how to do that. In my book, The Art of Reading, I have put 20-some spelling rules with a list of words that go with each rule. So if you don't want to go through all the work of finding the words for yourself, you can order the book. So I'm going to show you how I would have taught my 6-year-old, 7-year-old how to do their spelling. I gave them a little stack of words. It could be anywhere from 10 to 20 words, depending on your child and the age. And I had them sort them out. Lay them out on the table to where you can see them all, like this. And then I would say to them, let's see if there's a pattern to these words. Half of these words have a special letter that the other words don't have. So they would look over it and they would try to figure out. And then finally they'd notice some of these words have an E on the end and some do not. So we would sort those into 2 rows. And we would pull out everything that has an E and put it out to the side. And I always made sure there was an even number of the E's or not E's or whatever rule you were working on. So there we go. So then we would go a step further and notice some of these words almost seem to have a twin. Because if you look here, the K-I-T-E matches up with K-I-T. So let's slide it up here. And the P-I-N-E matches up. And so do these two. So now as you look at the words, you can ask them. This side, they should already be able to read through very easily. Kit and pen, pet, mat, tub, and hop. But then you show them when you add that E, the E changes the vowel so that it says its name. So this is kite, and the E is quiet. Pa'ine, with a quiet E. Pa'eat, and here's a great time to explain how whenever it's somebody's name, you give it a capital letter. Mat becomes mate when you add the E. Tub becomes tube when you add the E. And hop becomes hope when you add the E. So once they have done the sorting and they have looked at it, then it's easier for them to remember the rule when you then go and tell them if only one vowel is found, it usually says its short sound. But a silent E will let a vowel say its name. And then throughout the week, you can take them and write your words a few times. You can use them to write short little sentences. And then by the end of the week, they should be ready for you to call out the words and then write them on their paper and see how they do on a little spelling test. So that would be your very first rule to start with, that silent E. All right, now we have another list of words that we'll look at. Again, this time you can ask them, what does every single word have? There is a common letter in every single word. And usually it doesn't take them too long to figure out that they all have a K. And then you go through and you read the words. This one says pa'ak and ba'ake. Snake, because that silent E makes the A say A, and joke. snack, because there is no E, and black, again there's no E, back, duck, to ache, because the E makes the A say A, like, lock, and make. And then you ask them, did you notice a pattern with that? When they all should know pretty easily that some have an E at the end because the vowel needs to say its name. So let's pull out all of those that have an E at the end. And those that do not have an E at the end, notice what extra letter they do have. Those that do not have an E, they all have a C. They have a C to go with the K. Now the thing about teaching one rule a week, yes, they're learning these words, but they can learn so many other words once they know that rule. So if every week you just focus on a different rule, and yes, you learn a few words that apply to it, but then it opens up a world of words that they can spell. So, the way that I said this one, I said K at the end wants a friend. If there's no need for an E, then put in a C. So whenever you have K at the end of a word, it's always going to have a friend. It's either going to have that E or it's going to have that C. Except for words where N is already being K's friend, like sink and bank and thank. All right, now we're going to look at one more. This one's a little bit harder, but by the time they get to this lesson, they will understand how to do this. And they'll lay out all their words and they'll start reading them. We've got out and ground, how, shout, scout, down, proud, now, brown, foul, found, and owl. And you would first again start out asking them, what does every single word have? They all have what letter? And in no time at all, they'll say they all have an O. But the O is not making its typical sound. It's not saying ah, like an O usually does. The O has a partner, and it's saying ow. And there's a little story in another video that you stepped on O's toe, and that's where the owl sound came from. But as you look at these words, and you can ask them, yes, they all have an O, and they all say ow. But now look at O's partner. Most of the time it is a U, but sometimes it is a W. So we're going to divide them up into those two groups. So you have them divide them up into the two groups where we have our list of OU, and then we have our list of OW. And then we see, is there any kind of a pattern so that you can learn when do you use OU and when do you use OW? Well, we see right here that OW is at the end of these words. OU is never used at the end. But you can also notice that when there's an N all by itself, it's also with a W. Or when there's an L all by itself. Now that can throw you off a little bit because ground has an N, but it has an ND, not an N all by itself. So our rule would be OU and OW can both be found making the owl sound. OW is found at a word's end or with a lone L or N. And what we would do is write the rule at the top of the page and then list out the words in the two groups. Okay, well I hope this has been a helpful hint for teaching spelling. And again, I've got 20 lists with the rules in my book of the art of reading. And I will just show you a few of the others that are in here. We've got a rule on when to use K and when to use C. There's all the sounds, the E-A-R. There's the R sounds, the A-R, and the O-R, saying or. There's when C changes from K to S, and same with the G, changing from G to J. So it goes on and on to lots of different rules. But if you would like, you can easily make your own list once you have the rules and find your own words that match up to those rules. So if you want to email me, I will be glad to send you my list of rules, or you can order the book, either one. But the list of rules is free. If you just want to email me, I'll be glad to send those to you. So until next time, happy learning.